Hello everyone, good afternoon. Am I audible and visible? Yes guys, somebody please ping me so that I can begin with today's important session on Mughal Empire. Yes guys, just please hold on for a second. Okay, hello friends, hi, this is Alokojha. Welcome to StudyIQ IAS English. So in today's session, we are going to throw light on three important rulers of Mughal Empire or Mughal dynasty. The first one being Babar, followed by Humayun, and the most important one, Akbar. Now, before I begin with the series of 50 important topics of Indian history, let me ask you a few questions that we have studied previously. And hope so the session specifically, it's not a lengthier session. It is approximately 35 to 40-minute session wherein we are going to discuss about the important and the key points related to Babar, Humayun and Akbar. In tomorrow's session, we will be discussing about Jahangir, that is Nuruddin Muhammad Salim, Shah Jahan and Aurangzeb. Apart from this, we will also throw light on the administration of the Mughals in tomorrow's session, along with the administration of Marathas. Is that clear, everyone? Now, before I begin my session, let me ask you a few questions. Yes, very good noon, Jivisha ji. The very first question, please keep the session interactive, guys. If you have any kind of a question, any kind of a query or a doubt, please feel free to ask. Okay. My very first basic question to you guys is, let me ask you a few questions from ancient Indian history. Which is the only Indus Valley civilization site without a citadel? Please answer in the comment section. I'll be asking you 5 questions and then I'll begin my today's session. Yes, which is the only Indus Valley civilization site without a citadel? Yes, fast. Fast. The answer to this question is Chanhu Daro. It is the only Indus Valley civilization site without a citadel. Next, the concept of, very good Shri, very good. The concept of Vasudeva Kutumbam finds mention in which Upanishad? I repeat, the concept of Vasudeva Kutumbam finds mention in which Upanishad? Yes, please. We have seen different Upanishads, guys. The concept of Vasudeva Kutumbam finds mention in Maha Upanishad. Okay. Third important question. Dag and Chehra system was introduced by which ruler of Delhi Sultanate? To be very precise, which ruler of Khilji dynasty? I repeat, Dag and Chehra system was being introduced by which ruler of Khilji dynasty? Very good, Jivisha. Answer is Maha Upanishad for the previous one. Yes. A very famous ruler, I'll give you a hint. His original name was Ali Gursha. In fact, he had killed his own father-in-law to become the Sultan of Khilji dynasty. It's Alauddin Khilji. Okay, very good, Shri. Next question. The book Padmavat was written by Malik Muhammad Jayasi. It was written down in which language? I repeat, the book, specifically Padmavat, was written down in which language? Yes, it was written down during the time of Sher Shah Suri and it was written down in Awadhi language. Okay, last important question. And the question is like, Ibn Battuta has written a book called as Safarnama Rihla. Ibn Battuta served as a Qazi for 8 years in the court of which ruler? I repeat, Ibn Battuta served as a Qazi in the court of which ruler? Yes, please. My friends, he has served as a Qazi in the court of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, who is known for his 5 major experiments. In fact, he was also referred as mixture of opposites by Ziauddin Barani. Is that clear, everyone? So without wasting any more time, let's begin our today's session on Mughal Empire. And the first one that we are going to discuss today is Babar. Okay, so let's understand about the important things and important battles related to Babar. First of all, Babar, it's a Persian word which basically means tiger. Okay. Babar, it's a Persian, just hold on. It's a Persian word which basically means tiger. He was born at a place called as Fargana. Yes, guys, and very good afternoon. He was born at a place called as Fargana, which is located in Uzbekistan. His father's name was Umar Sheikh Mirza, also referred as Mughal Sheikh Mirza. Now, his father passed away when Babar was just 12 to 14 years of age. So, he ascended the throne at approximately 12 to 14 years of age. During the initial stages of life, when he ascended the throne, he was able to retain the position in the region of Fargana. Finally, he lost the region of Fargana to the Uzbeks. So, he had to move on and he had to make another plan. And now he made a plan to capture the region of Kabul. So, around 1504, 1505, Babar captured the region of Kabul. And from now onwards itself, Babar was having an eye over the region of India. Why Babar was having an eye over the region of India? Because there were two important reasons. The first one, in the region of Central Asia, the situation was very chaotic. As we had discussed previously, this person had lost the region of Fargana to the Uzbeks. And now Babar specifically wanted to acquire the region of India. Okay? Because there was a complete chaos in the region of Central Asia. But he was not getting a chance to acquire the region of India. Finally, around 1517, and from 1517 itself, he got the chance to move towards the region of India. How? Because again in the region of India, there was a political turmoil. Why? Let's understand about this. After the decline of Tughlaq dynasty of Delhi Sultanate, there comes up another important dynasty, that is Sayyid dynasty. And the rule of Sayyid dynasty was for a very short span. Sayyid dynasty was followed by Lodi dynasty. In fact, many historians do believe that Lodi dynasty was the first Afghan dynasty to rule over the Delhi Sultanate. Okay? And the founder of Lodi dynasty was Behlol Lodi. In fact, many historians do believe that Behlol Lodi, he ruled for the longest tenure. In fact, he ruled for 38 years. Behlol Lodi was succeeded by his son, whose name was Sikandar Lodi. Sikandar Lodi, he is considered as one of the most able and one of the greatest ruler of Lodi dynasty. He is said to have built the city of Agra, or he is said to have beautified the city of Agra. He had started a land revenue unit measurement referred as Gaj-e-Sikandari. Okay, my friends, please have a pen and paper along with you so that you guys can note down the important points. So, Sikandar Lodi had started a land revenue unit measurement referred as Gaj-e-Sikandari. First thing, he had written a poem in the pen name of Gulrukhi. Correct? And that actually describes the life of the people during the specifically Delhi Sultanate period. Sikandar Lodi was succeeded by Ibrahim Lodi. Now, Ibrahim Lodi, he was specifically, we can say that he was a very rude ruler. He openly used to humiliate his nobles, specifically and ministers in the court itself, even for minuscule mistakes. And in this manner, he had created animosity within the court itself. So there was one person whose name was Daulat Khan Lodi. Another person was Alam Khan Lodi. Okay. And as per many historians, the third person was Rana Sangaji of Mewar. But many historians do believe that Rana Sangaji of Mewar never ever invited Babar to invade India. But still, many books of the history reveal one thing. These three, that is Daulat Khan Lodi, who was governor of Punjab. Second, Alam Khan, who was one of the uncles of Ibrahim Lodi. And third, Rana Sangaji of Mewar invited Babar to invade India. Okay. Now, Babar comes to India. Yes, conscious awareness, very good afternoon. Now, Babar comes to India, and on 21st April 1526, a fierce battle was fought, which is referred as Battle of Panipat. Now, the very first question arises that Babar had a very small force. Okay, now Babar had a force of approximately 12 to 15,000 soldiers. On the other hand, Ibrahim Lodi had a force of 1 lakh to 1,10,000 soldiers. But why Babar was successful? Because of the techniques that Babar had used. During the warfare, Babar had deployed one technique which is referred as Tuluguma technique. It is also referred as Rumi technique, also referred as Arba system. And in fact, it is believed that Babar had learnt these techniques from Saibani Khan. In fact, a battle was fought between Babar and Saibani Khan, which is also referred as Battle of Saraipul or Battle of Transoxiana. Although Babar had lost the battle, but he had learned these techniques. And specifically, he had deployed these techniques in the first battle of Panipat against the forces of Ibrahim Lodi. Apart from this, Babar was the first Muslim ruler to use gunpowder in India. Okay, Babar had a breed of camels which was referred as Zamburak. So all these were the things that made Babar victorious in the first battle of Panipat. So this was fought in 1526. Babar from 1526 to 1529 continuously fought 4 battles. Okay, so first battle of Panipat in 1526. In 1527, another battle was fought between Babar and Rana Sangaji of Mewar, and that is referred as Battle of Khanwa. Now, Battle of Khanwa. Khanwa is located near Agra. Okay. There is one more battle which is hidden within the books of history, and that is referred as Battle of Bayana. Again, it is said that the Battle of Bayana was fought between one of the military commanders of Babar and Rana Sangaji of Mewar, in which Rana Sangaji of Mewar emerged victorious. But in Battle of Khanwa, which was fought near Agra between Babar and Rana Sangaji of Mewar, Babar emerged victorious. Then Babar fought another battle in 1528, which is referred as Battle of Chanderi. Okay, Chanderi, it is located in Madhya Pradesh. It is extension of Malwa. As discussed previously many times, that Madhya Pradesh is divided into 3 to 4 important geographical units. The southern part of Madhya Pradesh is referred as Nimad. Northwestern part is referred as Chambal. Northern part is referred as Bundelkhand. Eastern part is referred as Baghelkhand, and the western part is referred as Malwa. So Chanderi, which is also known for its saris. Okay, a battle of Chanderi, which is extension of Malwa. A battle was fought between Babar and Medini Rao, in which Babar again emerged victorious. And finally, in 1529, Battle of Ghagra was fought between Mahmud Lodi, one of the brothers of Ibrahim Lodi, and Babar. And again, Babar emerged victorious. So you need to remember 4 important key battles that was fought during the tenure of Babar. First Battle of Panipat between Babar and Ibrahim Lodi. Battle of Khanwa between Babar and Rana Sangaji of Mewar. Battle of Chanderi between Babar and specifically Medini Rao. And Battle of Ghagra, Babar and Mahmud Lodi. Okay. So, apart from these battles, what are the other things that we need to understand about Babar? Now, Babar had written his own biography in Turkish language, and that was referred as Tuzuke Babri. And apart from this, one more thing you need to remember. This biography was being translated into Persian language by Abdul Rahim Khane Khanan. Okay, so the biography of Babar was the biography of Babar was written by whom? By himself. It's an autobiography, that is Tuzuke Babri, in Turkish language. It was translated into Persian language by Abdur Rahim Khane Khanan. Okay, Babar had constructed 2 important mosques. He had constructed one mosque at Panipat, which is located in Haryana, other mosque at Sambal, which is located in UP. The famous Babri Masjid was not at all constructed by Babar. I repeat, the famous Babri Masjid was not at all constructed by Babar. It was constructed by one of the military commanders of Babar, whose name was Mir Baki. Okay. Apart from this, he added a concept of Char Bagh system into the Mughal, architecture. So these are the important points that you guys need to remember about Babar. And Babar passed away at the age of 47. So these are the key points. My friends, I have already covered medieval Indian history in quite depth and detail. If you observe the playlist of StudyIQ IS English, there are more than 40 sessions on medieval Indian history. And specifically, I have covered Babar within 55 to 60 minutes. So I have thrown light on individual rulers in quite depth and detail. Here, just I am focusing on from the perspective of prelims examination. Is that clear to all of you? Yes. Conscious awareness. See, the pictorial representation of Babar here, it is in the form of an animated one. or you can say that kind of an usage of bit of AI. Is that clear? Conscious awareness? Moving ahead. So, Babar was succeeded by his son Humayun. Now, Humayun basically means fortunate one. But unfortunately, he is considered as the most unfortunate ruler of the entire Mughal dynasty. Why? Because during the time of Humayun from 1540 to 1555, there was a political vacuum from the side of Mughals. Okay? Yes, conscious awareness. Thanks a lot. So, there was a political vacuum from the side of Mughals. Now, Babar, he died at the age of 47, and when he was on his deathbed, he called one of his sons whose name was Humayun. In fact, Babar had 4 sons, Kamran, Asghar, Hindal and Humayun. So he called one of his sons Humayun and told him, if there is internal bickering between you brothers, this would be seen as an opportunity by the other Afghan invaders. And precisely in the region of Purvanchal, that is eastern UP and Bihar, Afghans were having an eye over the region of Delhi. In fact, they wanted to overthrow the Mughal dynasty. So there shouldn't be any kind of internal bickering between you brothers. Okay, so distribute the kingdom equally among you. And you specifically, you should be the next Mughal emperor. So Humayun was chosen as the next Mughal emperor. One of his brothers, he went to Kabul in Afghanistan. And the other 2 brothers, they were given the region of Malwa and Gujarat. As discussed previously, that Afghans were having an eye over the region of Delhi. In fact, Afghans, they aspired to overthrow the Mughal dynasty around the region of Delhi. So one such Afghan was Farid, who was also referred as Sher Khan. Okay, so Sher Khan initially attacked around the region of Dora. That was in 1539. But specifically, Humayun had defeated Sher Khan, also referred as Farid, around the region of Dora. Then specifically it is said that Humayun had also besieged the region of Chunar, fort of Chunar, but he did not garrison that. I'll give you a very simple example. We have seen about the first battle of Tarain and second battle of Tarain, which was fought specifically in 1191 AD and 1192 AD. It was fought between Muhammad Ghori and Prithviraj Chauhan ji. In the first battle of Tarain, we had observed one thing, that Muhammad Ghori had to face a very humiliating defeat. Correct? But Prithviraj Chauhan ji, even though he had specifically defeated Muhammad Ghori in the region of Tarain, he did not garrison that place. And since he did not garrison that place, this was seen as an opportunity in the very next year by Muhammad Ghori. So he regrouped and attacked again. Same thing happened here. It is always said that history repeats itself. Correct? So here what happened? After defeating this person, whose name was Sher Shah Suri or Sher Khan, Humayun did not garrison this place. And in 1539, Battle of Chausa was fought between Sher Shah Suri and whom? Humayun, in which Humayun had to face a very humiliating defeat, and Humayun, he fled away from the battlefield. Okay? Now Sher Khan or Sher Shah Suri, he was a very intelligent person. What did he do? He started chasing Humayun. And where was Humayun? Humayun was there in western UP, precisely at a place called as Kannauj. Kannauj, which is also referred as City of Fragrances. If I speak from the perspective of ancient Indian history, Kannauj was an important city or an important town during the, specifically as a part of Panchal Mahajanpad. And Kannauj was an important center of trade and commerce. So that was from the perspective of ancient Indian history. So this person, after facing a humiliating defeat in the region of Chausa, he moved to the region of Kannauj. And finally, Battle of Kannauj was again fought between the forces of Humayun and the forces of Sher Shah Suri. Finally, again this person, Humayun, was being defeated, and around 1540, he fled away to the region of Sindh. Okay, and as discussed previously, from 1540 to 1555, that is approximately for a short span of 15 years, there was a political vacuum from the side of Mughals. Why? Because there was establishment of another important dynasty referred as Sur dynasty. So the founder of Sur dynasty was Farid, also referred as Sher Khan, also referred as Sher Shah Suri. So after defeating Humayun, who fled away to the region of Sindh, this person, Sher Shah Suri, He followed the policy of imperialism. He followed the policies of expansionism. So what did he do? He had conquered many other regions such as Marwar, Ranthambore. Okay, Ranthambore, which is located in Rajasthan, one of the most important forts of the Rajputana. Nagaur, Ajmer, Merta, Jodhpur and Bikaner. So once upon a time, this person, Sher Shah Suri, he was in the region of Bundelkhand and he was trying to besiege the fort of Kalinjar. Okay, now Kalinjar fort, it is located in the region of Bundelkhand. Bundelkhand, which is in the northern part of Madhya Pradesh. And Kalinjar fort was strategically very important. Like the fort of Gwalior, like it is approximately 400 to 450 feet from the plain areas. On the other hand, the fort of Kalinjar, it is approximately 800 to 850 feet from the plain area. So it gives you a positive advantage against the enemies. And one can have an easy watch over the activities of the enemy. So fort of Kalinjar was very important. So around 1545, this Persian Sher Shah Suri, he was besieging the fort of Kalinjar, and due to accidental blast of gunpowder, he passed away in 1545. So these were the military campaigns of Sher Shah Suri. But apart from the military campaigns, this person had also done many administrative works as well. Let's understand about them. Like he had a highly centralized government. King was assisted by various ministers and there were different departments such as Diwan-e-Wazira department. It was a revenue department. Diwan-e-Arz department. It was a military department. If you remember one thing, the credit for creation of military or defense department goes to Balban. Balban had created a department which was referred as Diwan-e-Arz department. Okay. Diwan-e-Rasalat department, it was a foreigns department. Diwan-e-Insha was a correspondence department. Apart from this, the empire was divided into 47 sarkars. Now, what are sarkars? We'll study about the administration of Mughals tomorrow. Like, precisely speaking, the Mughal empire was divided into different provinces. And these provinces were referred as Suba. Suba were further divided into districts. And these districts were referred as sarkar. So precisely speaking, the empire was divided into 47 sarkar. And there were two other important officers as well. One was Fotedar. This is Fotedar. Okay. Fotedar was a treasurer and Karkun was the accountant. So this is another important part that you guys need to remember. Moving ahead. Sher Shah Suri, he had improved the communication and the transport system by laying down the 4 important highways. Like he had constructed one of the highways from Sonargaon to Sindh, then Agra to Burhanpur. Burhanpur, which is located in southern part of Madhya Pradesh, also referred as Nimad. Okay. Jodhpur to Chittor, Lahore to Multan. One more important fact that we guys need to remember. You might have known about the Grand Trunk Road. Okay. So the famous Grand Trunk Road was constructed by Sher Shah Suri and it was constructed from the region and it connected the region of Chittagong to Kabul. Okay. At that time, during the time of Sher Shah Suri, the Grand Trunk Road was referred as Sadak-e-Azam. Please remember this. The Grand Trunk Road was referred as Sadak-e-Azam. The name Grand Trunk Road was given by one of the Governor Generals whose name was Lord Auckland. I repeat, Lord Auckland. Okay. He has given the famous name, that is GT Road, that is Grand Trunk Road. Hope so the point is clear to all of you. Apart from this, specifically, he had come up with the land revenue reforms as well. He divided the land on the basis of the quality of the soil and peasants were taxed accordingly. I'll give you a very simple example. Britishers have come up with different land revenue system in India. The first one was Zamindari system of land revenue, also referred as permanent settlement. And Zamindari system of land revenue, it came up during the time of Lord Cornwallis, who was also referred as blue-blooded aristocrat. Then comes the Rayatwari system of land revenue. And the very first statement of Rayatwari system of land revenue was what? The genesis of Rayatwari system goes back to the era of Sher Shah Suri. Okay. So what happens usually like during Zamindari system, what used to happen? The peasants, like English East India Company directly did not collect the taxes from the peasants. A Zamindar was appointed. Zamindar will collect the revenue from the peasant, keep his commission and rest he will give it to the company. But what was there in Rayatwari system? In Rayatwari system, Britishers directly collected the revenue from the peasant and it was not on the basis of quantity of the land. It was on the basis of quality of the soil. Same thing was adopted previously during the time of Sher Shah Suri. And what was that? Like the land was categorized into three important categories. Good, okay, the revenue on the land which was fertile was high. Then comes average, the land which was average, the land revenue was not that high. And barren land, okay, infertile land, the land revenue was very minimum. So during the time of Sher Shah Suri, land revenue was collected on the basis of quality of the soil. Okay. Another important thing, as we have discussed previously, the book Padmavat. Padmavat, it narrates about the story of Maharaja Rawal Ratan Singh Ji, Rani Padmini Ji and Alauddin Khilji. And the entire episode of Chittorgarh has been mentioned in a book referred as Padmavat, which was written by Malik Muhammad Jayasi in Awadhi language. And it was written during the time of Sher Shah Suri. Is that clear? So, after the death of Sher Shah Suri in 1545, for the next 10 years, again there was a political turmoil. And this was seen as an opportunity by Humayun in 1555 again. So Humayun again attacked the Afghans in 1555 and restored back the lost glory of the Mughal dynasty. Again in 1555, the Mughal dynasty was being established by Humayun. Okay. Now, it is said that he could only rule for the next 6 years, and in 1556, he died due to the fall from the staircase of the library. Humayun's tomb is located in Delhi. Sher Shah Suri's tomb is located in Sasaram, which is in Bihar. Okay, Humayun's biography was written by his sister, whose name was Ghul Badan Begum. Clear? And it was written in Persian language. So, Tuzuke Babri was written by Babar. It was written in Turkish language. It was translated into Persian language by Abdul Rahim Khane Khanan. Apart from this, Humayun Nama was written by Ghul Badan Begum. Who was she? She was sister of Humayun. And it was written originally in Persian language. So, do remember about these important facts. Is the point clear to all of you? Yes, guys? Is it clear, everyone? Now, there are many important aspects that we guys need to remember about Akbar, because like in 2025 itself, there was a question in the mains examination specifically about the religious policy of Akbar. And the question was on the religious syncretism of Akbar. So we need to understand the policy that was adopted by Akbar, precisely his religious policy. How was land categorized during the time of Akbar? What is Mansabdari system? How were the peasants categorized or classified during the time of Akbar? Okay, so just pay attention carefully, listen to me carefully. Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. When Humayun passed away, Akbar was only 14 years of age. Okay, and Akbar was at a place called as Kalanor, which is located in Gurdaspur, Punjab. And he was preparing for a battle against whom? Hemu. So, second battle of Panipat was fought between Akbar and Hemu in 1556. In fact, the second battle of Panipat from the side of Akbar was led by one of his regent, also referred as Raj Pratinidhi, whose name was Bairam Khan. Okay, so there are 2 to 3 important characters that are very closely associated with the life of Akbar. One was his regent Bairam Khan, one was his foster mother, okay, Mahama Anga. These names are important. And the third one was his foster brother, whose name was Adam Khan. Okay, so it is said that the second battle of Panipat was fought between Akbar and Hemu in 1556, in which Akbar emerged victorious. In fact, the second battle of Panipat from the side of Akbar was led by his close regent, whose name was Bairam Khan. But with the passage of time, it is believed that Bairam Khan wanted to hijack the power. And Akbar, he was also a very experienced personality. From Akbar, we can learn one thing. And what is that? It is not necessary to be very educated if you want to know about the administration. Administration majorly, what we say, runs with the help of an experience. I'll give you a very simple example. Let's take an example of Delhi Sultanate. The most educated ruler of the entire Delhi Sultanate was Muhammad bin Tughlaq. But he was one of the most unsuccessful rulers. And one of the most, or we can say one of the less educated rulers was Alauddin Khilji, but still one of the most successful. On the other hand, speaking about the Mughal dynasty, most educated was Humayun, but specifically he is considered as one of the most unsuccessful rulers of the Mughal Empire. On the other hand, the most, what we can say that he was not that educated, Akbar, okay, but still he was one of the most successful rulers of the Mughal Empire. Correct? So experience plays a very major role here. So Bahram Khan, he wanted to hijack the power, and Akbar comes to know about this. So when Akbar comes to know about this, Akbar asked Bahram Khan that you retire to Hajj. But many of the historians do believe that Bahram Khan was killed on his way. Now Akbar also followed the policy of imperialism and expansionism. And Akbar also had an eye over the region of Gujarat and Malwa. Okay, as we have known, since the ancient time, Gujarat was a very important and strategic place from the perspective of trade and commerce. In fact, the rulers of Delhi Sultanate also focused on the region of Gujarat and Malwa. Okay, so Akbar had conquered the region of Gujarat, and after conquering the region of Gujarat, he had constructed a new city which is called as Fatehpur Sikri, which is located approximately 65 to 70 kilometers from Agra. And this was to commemorate his victory over the region of Gujarat. In fact, he also constructed a gateway to Fatehpur Sikri, which was referred as Buland Darwaza. Why? To commemorate his victory over the region of Gujarat. Then comes the region of Malwa. Okay, why was Malwa important? Because Malwa opens the doors of South India. It is a gateway to South. Correct? Now, Malwa, there's a very beautiful story. And Malwa, it was ruled by Baz Bahadur, and Baz Bahadur had a wife named as Rani Roopmati. There's a very beautiful story, in fact a love story associated with Baz Bahadur and Rani Roopmati. Like it is believed that Baz Bahadur, he ruled over the region of Mandu. Mandu, it is also called as Shadiabad, and it was a part of Malwa. So once upon a time, he goes into the jungles for hunting, and he hears a very beautiful voice of a flute being played. And he starts moving in the direction of the voice. And when he reaches that particular place, he sees a shepherdess, and she was very pretty and beautiful. And immediately, Baz Bahadur proposed her for marriage. She said that you are a sultan, I am a normal shepherdess. How can I marry you? So he said that it's your will. She said that I'll marry you only under one condition: if the water from the river Narmada is channelized into my palace. It is believed that Baz Bahadur did the same, and he had constructed a reservoir in his palace which was referred as Riva Kund. So if you get an opportunity to visit the place of Mandu, very beautiful place, okay, you will also observe Riva Kund. So this was constructed by Baz Bahadur for his wife Rani Roopmati. Now Akbar had dispatched one of his foster brother Adam Khan to conquer the region of Malwa. Okay. Now, Baz Bahadur, initially he fought valiantly, initially he fought courageously, but he fled away from the battlefield. And when he fled away from the battlefield, it is said that this person, Adam Khan, okay, he courted upon his wife, Rani Roopmati. Many historians do believe that Rani Roopmati, she committed Johar. In fact, she consumed poison. Correct? Now, Adam Khan goes back, and this was not at all liked by Akbar. Apart from this, Adam Khan, although being a foster brother, okay, he had always tried to misuse his power. He had killed two another important military commanders and ministers or nobles in the court of Akbar. And this time Akbar got very infuriated. He got very annoyed and angry. And Akbar, he killed Adam Khan, his foster brother. In fact, it is believed that after some time, his foster mother, Mahama Anga, also passed away. Akbar, he conquered the region of Gondwana from Rani Durgavati and her son Veer Narayan. So he had conquered the region of Gujarat, Malwa, Gondwana, Ahmednagar, and so on. Now concerning Rajputana, Akbar had followed a very different approach. Like Akbar had followed the policy of matrimonial alliances with the Rajputana. Correct? Matrimonial alliances is one such policy where a person strengthens his position. And there are different examples of matrimonial alliances. I'll give you an example of modern India. You might have heard about this, the region of the region of Bombay, it was under Portuguese. And there was a matrimonial alliance between Portuguese and English East India Company. How? Like Portuguese Princess Catherine Braganza, she was married to Prince Charles II of England. And the entire region of Bombay was given at a dowry of just rupees 1. Just rupees 1. Can you imagine? So, it is said that after some time, Prince Charles II gave the entire region of Bombay to English East India Company at a rent of £10 per annum. So, this is nothing but a matrimonial alliance policy to strengthen one's position. Same thing happens in the ancient India. Like we have observed that there was a ruler of ancient India whose name was Chandragupta I. Okay, he was a ruler of Gupta dynasty. He got Patliputra in dowry because he had married Lichavi princess. Similarly here, Akbar had adopted a very different approach towards Rajputana. He had entered into the policy of matrimonial alliances with the Rajputanas. And the first to enter into the matrimonial alliance was whom? Raja Bharmal of Amer. And successively, there were many other rulers who accepted this policy, except one, Maharana Pratap. Okay, Maharana Pratap ji. Now, Akbar was having an eye over the region of Chittor. And since Akbar was having an eye over the region of Chittor, he had sent delegation for 10 times to Maharana Pratap ji that you carry on your own administration, but it would be under the Mughal suzerainty. Every time Maharana Pratap ji rejected the proposal of Akbar, he knew one thing. Every time he is rejecting the proposal of Akbar, he is inviting a battle. And finally, the battle became inevitable. In 1576, Battle of Haldi Ghati was fought precisely between the forces of Maharana Pratap ji and forces of Akbar. Okay, like it is believed that like Maharana Pratap ji was assisted by the Bhil tribe. Okay, in fact, if you observe the symbol of the specifically Maharana Pratap ji, or if you observe the flag, and if you observe the symbol on that flag, you will observe on one side you will see a Bhil warrior, on the other side you will see a Kshatriya warrior. And below that it is referred that Bhil Jayo, Rani Jayo, Bhai Bhai. Simple words, it's in what we say, local Rajasthani folk. Simple words, the son of a Bhil and the son of a queen, both are same. So Bhils had assisted Maharana Pratap ji in Battle of Haldi Ghati. Okay, but Maharana Pratap ji had to retreat from the battlefield. Here, the books of history had said that, and books of history have depicted Battle of Haldi Ghati as a decisive battle. But very few books have mentioned about another battle which was fought in 1582, and that is referred as Battle of Dever. Battle of Dever, it says that when in 1576, when Maharana Pratap ji retreated, okay, he was just left with 7,000 soldiers. There was a very close aide of Maharana Pratap ji whose name was Bhama Shah. Bhama Shah had assisted Maharana Pratap ji again. He again regrouped his forces. In fact, Bhama Shah is also referred as savior of Mewar in many historical texts. And again in 1582, another important battle was fought which was referred as Battle of Dever. And it is said that Mughals were being defeated in Battle of Dever until 1597. Maharana Pratap ji and his son Maharana Amar Singh ji ruled over the region of Chittor. So Battle of Haldi Ghati, although it is highlighted in the books of history, Battle of Dever, it is hidden within the books of history. So this was his Rajput policy. Okay. Now this person, he had come up with different religious reforms as well. Now what were the religious policy or religious reforms of Akbar? First of all, for a very short span of time, this person, he had banned Sati system. Okay, just remember about this. He had abolished the system of Jizya. Jizya was the religious tax that was being imposed on the non-Muslims, precisely the Hindus. It was also referred as the pilgrim tax. Okay, he had started Ibadat Khana at Fatehpur Sikri, where religious discussions were being held. And the scholars were invited from all the religions, that is Hinduism, Jainism, Christianity, Islam, and so on. And he founded a new religion which is referred as Dine-Illahi. Okay, and his religious policy, specifically it is said that it was being drafted by Abul Faizi, who was one of the Navratnas and court historians in the court of Akbar. Okay, apart from this, Badayuni, he was a very strong critic of Akbar. Akbar's religious policy. So just remember about this. So I'll repeat the points again. He had started Ibadat Khana at Fatehpur Sikri. He had started a new religion which is referred as Dine-Illahi. He had issued Mazharnama. Now, what is a Mazharnama? Mazharnama basically means there shouldn't be any kind of a discrimination on the basis of religion. And if there is any kind of a discrimination on the basis of religion, strong action would be taken against that person. Okay, so this was about the religious policy of Akbar. Then Akbar, he had started Mansabdari system. In fact, the Mansabdari system of Akbar was adopted from Mongolia. Okay, now there are two important concepts as a part of Mansabdari system, Zat and Sawar. Zat means personal pay and status. Sawar means the number of horsemen to be maintained. Like, let me give you a simple example. There were Mansabdar or different ranks. Mansabdar below the rank of 500, Mansabdar between the rank between the 500 and 2500, Mansabdar above the rank of 2500. Now, what is this all about? Suppose I have been chosen as a Mansabdar and my rank is 500. It simply means that I have to maintain 500 soldiers under me, one thing, and I have to maintain 1000 horses under me. Every soldier needs to have 2 horses. Okay. Suppose if I'm a Mansabdar of the rank 2500, there would be 2500 soldiers who would be working under me and they are ready for war-like situation at any particular point of time. And I have to maintain 5000 horses. So this system in short is referred as Mansabdari system, which was adopted by Akbar. Clear? Moving ahead. During the time of Akbar, okay, specifically speaking, there were 3 kinds of peasants, Khudakasht, Pahikasht and Muzarriyam. Khudakasht were the peasants who were having their own land and their own agricultural tools and implements. They had to pay the taxes to the government and they were not dependent on the administration for any major aid. Then comes Pahikasht. Now these peasants, they did not have their own land, but they had their agricultural tools and implements. And then comes Muzarriyam. They were heavily dependent on the government. Why? Because they neither had their land nor did they had agricultural tools and implements. So during the time of Akbar, the peasants were categorized into 3 important categories. Khudakasht, Pahikasht and Muzarriyam. And the land was majorly categorized into 4 important parts. What was that? The land was categorized into Polaj, Parauti, Chachar and Banjar. Now what is Polaj? Polaj, it is a highly fertile land and the production is throughout the year. Okay. Parauti, precisely speaking, here the production you can observe once in a year. Then comes Chachar. The production year is specifically once within 2 years. And Banjar, there would be a production or there won't be any kind of production. So during the time of Akbar, the land was categorized into 4 important parts. Polaj, Parauti, Chachar and Banjar. Polaj was highly fertile, production throughout the year. Parauti, production once within a year. Chachar, production once within 2 years or 3 to 4 years. And Banjar, there would be hardly any kind of a production. So there was a minimum tax on the Banjar land. Then there were Navratnas in the court of Akbar. And who were these Navratnas in the court of Akbar? Abul Fazl, he has written a book called as Ain-e-Akbari, also referred as Akbarnama. His brother Faizi. Okay. Then comes Fakir Aziuddin. He was a Sufi saint and a chief advisor. Apart from this, specifically a great musician whose name was Tansen. Tansen's original name was Ram Tanu Pandey. He was a Hindu of a Gwalior. Okay. And specifically it is said that another was Mahesh Das ji, one of the famous characters. You might have heard about the stories of Akbar and Birbal. So Mahesh Das ji was Birbal. Okay. Then comes Mulla do Pyaza. Mulla do Pyaza, he was a chief chef. Abdur Rahim Khane Khanan, who was son of Behram Khan, and Man Singh, who was Mansabdar. Man Singh, oftenly referred as the brother of Jodhabai. Is that clear? So these were the important reforms that were being introduced by Akbar. I'll repeat the points again. Remember about Ibadat Khana. Remember about Sulah-e-Kul. Mazharnama. There shouldn't be any kind of discrimination on the basis of religion. Okay. Now, during the time of Akbar, the land was categorized into, the peasants were categorized into 3 parts. And what was they? Khudakasht, Pahikasht and Muzarriyam. The land was categorized into 4 parts: Polaj, Parauti, Chachar and Banjar. And one more important fact, the first Englishman to visit the court of Akbar was Ralph Fitch. I repeat, the first Englishman to visit the court of Akbar was Ralph Fitch. Hope so the point is clear. Yes, my friends, I have moved a bit faster because here I'm just focusing on the points from the prelims perspective. I have covered about the expeditions of Akbar in quite depth and detail. In fact, I have taken 2 to 3 sessions just on Akbar and his military expeditions. Is that clear? So my friends, as a part of Achievers Carnival sale, lowest prices, and the sale is going to end on 15th of April. I repeat, the sale is going to end on 15th of April. The batches are available in Hindi. Batches are available in English, that is bilingual mode, Hindi plus English. And there's a complete separate batch for English medium that will suffice to the needs of the aspirants precisely from southern part of India and northeastern India. Okay, there would be a proper mentor who would be guiding you throughout your journey for civil services preparation. The prices for batches are starting at 12,999. So use the code Alok Live that is flashing on your screen to get the benefits of these batches. I repeat the code Alok Live. Is that clear? So my friends, with this, I'll take your leave. Thank you and have a very nice day. Bye-bye everyone. Jai Hind. Yes, Shri.